Now on CoastTV News.
Bethany Beach Fire asking for donations, but they're receiving criticism instead.
Belmead zoning public hearing. Sussex County Council hearing from the applicant and neighbors about what this horse property could become.
Development on Kings Highway. Locals break down what it means for housing, businesses, and Lewis as a whole.
Strong winds prevail in our forecast along with soaking showers. I'll update you on the latest coming up.
This is CoastTV News at 5.
These fire trucks are ready to respond to a call at a moment's notice. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Christina DeRobertis. We begin tonight with the Bethany Beach Volunteer Fire Company receiving fewer donations than in years past.
According to Bethany Beach Fire, they rely on donations to keep fire and EMS operations available throughout the year. Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappe is live there at the Bethany Beach Firehouse. Kevin, the volunteer fire company works around the clock.
Maddie, these fire trucks that you see behind me are ready to roll out at a moment's notice. But according to the fire company, they've received less community donations this year compared to years prior. And they believe it may have to do with those property tax hikes. Grace Stam is 94 years old and has lived in Bethany Beach for more than 20 years. Over that time, she's come to know the people at the Bethany Beach Volunteer Fire Company.
I've had them come here any number of times. I've had some health issues, and they were here within less than 5 minutes. And they were very polite and very good and very thorough.
According to the fire company, the department responds to around 450 fire calls and 1,000 EMS calls each year, covering the area between the Indian River Inlet and Fenwick Island. But even though they're ready to help 24/7, donations are down this year.
We have one local town that gives us a small donation every year, other towns that don't support us financially at all.
Instead of donations, the fire company says they've been getting these letters. Residents saying property tax bills in Sussex County have gone up too much, leaving less money to give. But Martin says those taxes don't help the fire company.
The taxes being raised in any local towns or the county don't benefit us as a fire company.
Sam says she will continue donating and hopes others will too.
Any accidents, when there are any fires, when there are people that have illnesses and need them quickly. So they are a very, very important group.
I think it's pretty important. I think everybody could agree that when you call 911, you want somebody to show up, and you definitely want somebody who's close and able to provide the service.
The fire company hopes more donations will come in before the end of the year. Now, if you'd like to donate to the Bethany Beach Volunteer Fire Company, you could do so online, by mail, or in person. I'm Kevin Zappe, live in Bethany Beach, Coast TV News.
And according to Sussex County, about 10% of the average residential tax bill goes to the county government, the remainder going towards public education. County officials estimate this year's tax bills will be $214 million in revenue. That's up from last year, but this is important here. After taxes are collected, Sussex County says it will remain net revenue neutral. Now, in the midst of all this reassessment, which was court-ordered, again, not by the county launched a new online calculator that allows people to compare their new bill to last year's.
The Sussex County Council held a public hearing today for rezoning a horse property on Route 24. The farm is on 39 acres of land, and the zoning must change for the applicants to build apartments and businesses there. Coast TV reporter Brandon Ferguson is live in Lewis. Brandon, that hearing is still happening.
Christina, right now this entire piece of land behind me is currently agricultural residential. That must change to a C4 commercial district for any further approvals or building to take place. Now, if you'll follow me here and take a look across Route 24, right across from the Belmead farm is the Saddle Ridge development. And speaking with people in that development, they're worried about the increased trips on Route 24 and the traffic that could take place if this building was to get approved. On your screen now is what Belmead LLC wants to turn this land into: apartments and businesses like the ones you see now. Those with the project say it will offer much needed affordable housing and has gotten the support of nonprofits. But the spokesperson for the Route 24 Alliance says it's simple why council should deny.
Belmead is requesting a change of zone to C4, and they do not meet the minimum district requirements, 2 of them, for a C4, and therefore the county council must deny them.
The applicant says this location is ideal because of how close we are to 2 schools and a newly built police station. And if you look at this right here, if this project was to move forward, DelDOT would build a traffic light right here. And this public hearing started at 2 p.m. and is still actively happening right now. Live in Lewis, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
And if you live in Sussex County in the Lewis area, you've probably driven Kings Highway. And recently on the road, there's been a proposed shopping center, some new townhomes called Mitchell's Corner, that's under construction, and also a proposed independent living facility closer to Route 1. Some locals believe the focus on that highway needs to shift.
I kind of think there's a need for more commercial development and less residential because there's so much residential development going on. So if it's planned right, I don't have any problems with some additional commercial space.
DelDOT is working on a multi-phase project to widen Route 9 from 2 to 4 lanes.
Delaware is now... Some cute pups there. Delaware now the latest state to put in place an animal abuse offender list, which will be maintained by the Office of Animal Welfare. That list will be public with names and photos of convicted abusers. The bill prohibits animal shelters from approving adoptions to anyone listed. A ceremony was held today at the Brandywine Valley SPCA, and animal shelters say this tool will help in vetting potential adopters.
You don't always 100% know. So this is just another safeguard for us to be able to rely on to make sure we're doing our best for the animals that are relying on us.
Yeah, that's shocking. McKinley added that after the adoptions are approved, HAP still keeps in contact with the adopters, knowing the animals continue to be safe. And this does bring us to our Coast TV poll this evening. We want to know if you support Delaware's animal abuse registry.
Let's take a look at the results so far. Well, 94% say yes, 6% say no. And if you haven't voted yet, we are going to keep running this poll.
Yes, we are, and we'll show you updated results tonight on Coast TV News at 6 and Coast TV News at 11.
Well, all eyes on the weather. A lot of high winds and showers today across the coast. On your screen now is footage of some rough waves at Broad Kill Beach earlier today.
Now we're looking live into Lewis, looking pretty gloomy out there. So let's check in with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams, on our forecast. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening to you, Christina. So we are looking at significant deterioration of conditions right now along the beaches, with temperatures staying in the 60s, staying windy, staying rainy. Here's a look at all 4. We're looking at it staying relatively calm at Delaware Bay, but very active at Ocean City as well as Rehoboth Beach. Ocean View, looking at it staying active right now. Look at the winds. 46-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Indian River Inlet, 35-mile-per-hour gusts being recorded in Ocean City. And just to kind of give you a feel as to some of the wind gusts that have been happening, we had a 44-mile-per-hour gust in Lewis, 41 in Rehoboth, Fenwick Island, 40 Indian River Inlet. So we're still in that active mode. Flood watch to the south throughout portions of Ocean City, but then flood advisories in effect for Snow Hill, Newark, and those areas. In addition to that, we're concerned about a wind advisory near Ocean City, and that goes right along all the way up towards Dewey Beach, Bottom Hills, Ocean City, Bayview Park, and of course the active coastal flood advisory generally for the entire Delmarva Peninsula. Coming up, we're going to give you the estimate of what's happening with the rainfall in that area and just how much rain we're expecting.
All right, thank you, Paul. The Maryland Department of Natural Resources have received requests to change the 6-knot speed limit in the Fenwick Ditch to be minimum wake zones. And here's a look at that area right now of the Fenwick Ditch. The changes could include a minimum wake zone. And MDNR says this would affect a portion of the Ocean City canals and inlets in a regulated area. A boat advisory committee meeting takes place September 18th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the TAWS State Office Building. You can join the meeting online if you can't make it in person.
Today it was revealed that Tyler Robinson, the man accused of shooting and killing Charlie Kirk, well, his DNA was found on the rifle used in that attack. The 22-year-old now formally charged with 7 counts. The most serious is aggravated murder. Robinson will face the death penalty, and more details are being revealed as the Utah County Attorney reads a note left for Robinson's roommate, as well as a text exchange between the two.
Well, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right? Robinson, I'm sorry.
And new tonight, the person who was arrested at the Charlie Kirk rally, not Robinson, after that shooting, he has been charged. Authorities say George Zinn was attending the rally when Kirk was shot and began yelling out that he was the one who shot Kirk. You might remember police originally took Zinn into custody, but later released him because now we know Zinn said he was not the shooter, but said that because he wanted to hinder police. Police say they found inappropriate pictures of underage children on Zinn's phone. He's now been charged with that, as well as obstruction of justice and felony sexual exploitation of a minor.
President Trump heads to the United Kingdom today for his second state visit. Trade will be on the agenda, and the president could avoid planned protests, unlike his first visit.
Vaughn Hilliard shows us at home American consumers await a decision that could affect what and how they buy the goods as Congress deals with a looming shutdown.
President Trump heading to Great Britain, where he is expected to be met with pomp and protests. A huge security operation is taking place across the UK. Boats patrol the Thames, while at Windsor Castle, armed guards walk the grounds. This will be Trump's second visit, the first American president to be asked back twice for a state visit.
It's the first time this has ever happened where somebody was honored twice, so it's a great honor. And this one's at Windsor.
He will spend most of his time at Windsor Castle, far from the planned protests in London.
I'm there also on trade. They want to see if they can refine the trade deal a little bit. We made a deal.
Most of the president's other tariffs this year remain in legal limbo back home. The Supreme Court will take up a major case this fall on his unilateral use of tariffs.
That's a very vital case for the success of our country.
While the president is across the pond, the Federal Reserve is expected to lower interest rates tomorrow. For months, he has pushed Fed Chair Jerome Powell to more aggressively cut.
But I think they should listen to smart people like me.
Among those on the board that will decide, his newly confirmed pick for Federal Reserve Governor, Stephen Myron, but also on Lisa Cook, who President Trump tried firing in an effort to install more politically friendly allies on the Board of Governors. Just last night, though, a federal appeals court ruled firing her would violate the Federal Reserve Act. Cutting interest rates would give the American consumer more buying power in the short term, but at a time of still great economic uncertainty ahead and a potential looming government shutdown. And today, House Republicans introduced a spending bill that would avert a government shutdown at the end of September and keep the government running until at least mid-November. It adds money for security, but not for health care, a major sticking point for Democrats, which could very well mean this could lead to a bruising fight ahead on Capitol Hill. In Washington, Vaughn Hilliard, NBC News.
Pumpkins and cider, where you can find these fall goods over the weekend, coming up.
And we have some flood fears front and center with our forecast, with coastal inundation the primary focus at this point. More on that coming up.
Award-winning actor and director Robert Redford passes away. More about his life and incredible career.
This is Coast TV News at 5.
Acting legend Robert Redford has died. According to a statement, Redford passed away today at his home at Sundance in the mountains of Utah, surrounded by his loved ones. Dan Sheneman reports on his life and career.
As an actor, Robert Redford looked like a natural.
The thing I live for and always have lived for is creating art. So making films is the most important thing.
A native of California, his acting career began on the New York stage and on television before getting his chance on the big screen.
Why? Because I won't go walking barefoot in the park?
With the help of his leading man good looks, his career took off in the 1960s.
Did you make a jump like that you didn't have to? I have to, and I'm not gonna.
When he teamed with Paul Newman in 1969's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, he proved his movies could do big business at the box office. In the 1970s, Redford was one of Hollywood's biggest stars. He was attracted to complex stories and complicated characters. Many of his movies became cultural milestones.
Marvin, what do we do now?
I wouldn't quote you even as an anonymous source. I mean, you'd be on deep background.
Like many actors, Redford wanted to work behind the camera. Ordinary People was his first film as a director. The movie won the Oscar for Best Picture in 1980. Redford was named Best Director. Always passionate about the movie business, Redford wanted to give back to the industry. He created the Sundance Institute, named after his character, the Sundance Kid. The Institute advances the work of up-and-coming filmmakers and showcases independent films at the annual Sundance Film Festival in Utah.
The idea of putting something back into a business that's been good to you, or back into an industry that is a part of your life, seems right to me.
The actor was also an activist who championed the environment and worked to preserve southern Utah's landscape.
Somebody has to think about the future and what we're going to be leaving people behind.
And while his days as a heartthrob came to an end, Redford continued to take roles in films that challenged him as an actor. Robert Redford. He made some of the great films of his generation and worked to foster the next generation of great filmmaking. Dan Sheneman, NBC News.
And I'm trying to get them to look at it now.
Well, today's a yellow alert day, and you can feel why. We have winds accelerating beyond 40 miles per hour, and we're accumulations as we speak. Ocean City, 68 degrees right now. We'll stay in the 60s with widely scattered showers continuing to be a part of the mix. In the 60s is where we start off. 69 in Lewis, 64 in Georgetown, 63 in Willard, 65 Ocean Pines. Here's the latest look at the rain. This is the backside of a low pressure system that's off to the water, but it's pushing that rain in sort of a backwards motion that we're not typically accustomed to. But we have a concern with winds and riptides and a whole lot of other concerns. A wind advisory is active for us from Rehoboth Beach, Dewey Beach, Bay Vista, Shockley Manor, as well as Bayview Park, Ocean View down towards Fenwick Island. But that also encompasses the folks that are in Ocean City all the way down towards Golf Club Shores, and it's dipping all the way down as far south as Chincoteague. So the flood watch is in effect actually for Chincoteague because of the heavy downpours that's happening as a result of these isolated cells that are becoming stronger, pushing right along the Chincoteague line and not lifting so much to the north, but really staying concentrated where all the horses are dealing with that. So coastal flood advisory is in effect, generally speaking, for the entire area because it's such a massive low pressure system that's not moving very quickly from our immediate area. And then we look at the possibility of accumulation. We're looking at accumulation more so near Snow Hill, where you have the darker blues. And then with my estimations right now, we're looking at about 2.5 inches that have fallen near Snow Hill, according to our estimation from our Doppler radar at this point. Other areas of rainfall, we've ranged up just shy of an inch for us in Slaughter Beach, down to about a 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch in a lot of other areas. Another slate of areas, we had 3/4 of an inch in Harbison and Milford. Prime Hook, just over a 1/2 inch. Same holds true for us in Stokely. So here's the latest look at the winds at 33 miles per hour. And with that, and with the winds and with the rainfall totals, that combination is making for a not so pleasant situation for us. And the winds are going to stay active for us going into Wednesday early in the morning, at least up to 38 to 37 miles per hour. And then we'll finally back off going into Wednesday, late Wednesday. Now, as far as future rain is concerned, we're looking at possibly an inch more in Berlin, just over a 1/2 inch for us in Snow Hill. But as far as Lewis is concerned, that's going to be a target area of at least a 1/2 inch more in Lewis. And generally speaking, we're looking at by Wednesday afternoon, most of the precipitation should come to an end. We'll have breaks of sunshine occasionally within that realm of scattered shower activity. Finally, here's a look at the extended forecast. The good news is by the time we get to the weekend, we will dry out. We'll be back after this.
The historic Lewis Farmers Market returns this Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at George H.P. Smith Park. In case of bad weather, the market will move to the Lewis Elementary School parking lot.
As we take a live look outside, ooh, rainy day. More on the forecast after this.
Latest look at radar, we're going to have scattered showers and rain continuing for the next 2 to 3 hours as we're bracing for more winds as well. Finally, here's a look at your 10-day forecast. The good news is the rain will be out of the way for the weekend.
Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 5.
For more news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app.
Inside Edition is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great evening.